Hey guys, it's Tia. Welcome to the video. Hope you're doing well. So today we're going to be talking about traffic and promotion for your Redbubble store. So how to market your designs. This is one of the most common questions I get. In this video, I'm just going to be sharing some tips on how I try to increase my Redbubble store traffic. Lack of traffic is probably the number one issue for new sellers and people who don't have any sales yet. So hopefully this gives you a better idea of how you can get more people to come to your store. So firstly, why is traffic important? Well, to illustrate my point, this is a pair of screenshots from one of my Redbubble accounts, and this is actually not the account with the most traffic. This account right here is, but anyway, I thought this account was just better at illustrating my point. If you take a look at the shape of the graph for the unique visitors and the earnings, then you'll notice immediately that they follow each other really closely. It may fluctuate around each month, but in general, that is the pattern. And why is this? So conversion rate is the number of sales divided by the number of unique visitors, and this stays around the same, okay? So it's hard to explain exactly why, but in general, it just doesn't vary that much. It usually stays for e-commerce around 1 to 3%. If you don't really understand the platform and your designs aren't perhaps as good as other people's, then it might be less than 1. And if there's something about your design that really stands out, then it might be more than 3, but in general it stays around 1 to 3%. There's only really so much you can do to increase your conversion, especially with a site like Redbubble. If you had your own store, your own website, you could implement a lot of strategies to increase conversion, such as having a timer, for example, to increase urgency, or special deals, or using different colors, that kind of thing. But we've obviously just got to stick with what Redbubble has, and to be honest, I feel like they've maximized your chance of getting conversions already. They're already doing a lot of things. As a company, they've worked out what makes sales, so obviously optimizing the checkout page and things like that. So just trust that Redbubble's done that for you, and all you need to work on is the designs really, and the descriptions, titles. Conversion rate on Redbubble is not going to differ wildly between sellers, and that's why in general the more visitors you get, the more sales you get, and the more money you get. Now if we take a closer look at the traffic sources for one of my stores, you'll notice that most of it comes from Redbubble. Some is organic, so that's Google search and on the sidebar. Some is direct, so people searching for it directly, and a very small proportion comes from social media. That is because I don't promote any of my stores on social media, okay, and I'll be talking about that later. And that leads us on to my first point about SEO. So search engine optimization is really important, and it's always what I stress when talking about Redbubble specifically, because I think if you're on Redbubble as a platform, they've really done a lot of the work for us. So they do retargeting ads, they advertise on Google, on different websites. A lot of that marketing has just been done for us. So they're also a pretty well-known search engine. They have their own customers, pretty loyal customers as well, repeat buyers that just keep on coming back to the site. They are a marketplace, so we need to take advantage of this, and I think the best way to do that is to optimize your metadata for the search engine. So that's your title, description, tags. Description doesn't matter so much on Redbubble, I think, but this is what I always talk about, making sure you add in those low competition, high demand keywords in your titles and tags. I actually have a whole video on this, a very detailed step-by-step video on how you can do research. It takes into account tag spammers, takes into account intellectual property, all of that. That video is linked up there. Go watch it after this video. I think it's one of the best videos I've ever done on Redbubble, and that is the method that I use to get most of my traffic. And this is really key for search engine optimization on Redbubble. Also thinking about increasing your rankings for certain keywords. So for example, if you use a low competition, high demand keyword in your tag, and then you use a more high competition one, you'll probably get found for the low competition, high demand keyword. And then if someone buys your listing, that will bump your listing up in the rankings. And then when someone searches the more competitive keyword, that means that your listing will be higher for that keyword as well. And actually, I think that's how one of my designs managed to go viral, because I used low competition, high demand keywords, and then somebody probably found it from there and they bought it, and then the design started to rank for other keywords as well, because once somebody buys something, Redbubble favors that in their algorithm, so you'll be seen by more and more people the more sales you make. That's why sales tend to increase over time as well. Obviously, as you saw, I haven't been uploading much, so mine decreased, but on my other accounts the sales are increasing because of this snowball effect of more people finding your designs from different tags. And also just increasing your ranking by making good designs, making more competitive designs. Obviously Redbubble doesn't know if your design is good or bad, right? That's decided by the market, so people usually buy designs that are better than other designs. If they buy more of yours, then that will increase your ranking as well. All right, so let's talk about free social media promotion. The main problem with free social media promotion Well, there's two problems really. So firstly is lack of buyer intent. So people scrolling on social media, they don't really think about buying anything. If they see a cool shirt, they might go check out your shop, but they're probably going there just to appreciate rather than buy. Whereas if you're focusing more on SEO, you're driving people to your listing who already have buyer intent. Okay, so people on a marketplace are there for a reason. Otherwise, why would they even go to the marketplace in the first place? They usually have some money aside and then they're just looking to see what they can buy. And the only factor there then is competition. If you're using free social media promotion, those people probably weren't thinking to buy anything in the first place. So you've really got to catch their attention. And that is why you'll get a lot of dead traffic sometimes. So you'll get a lot of people seeing your listings, a lot of unique visitors, but not many people buying. And if you want to go this way, then you've really got to build a brand, and you've also got to promote the fact that you're selling. So for example, on Instagram, unless you have Instagram shopping product tagging enabled, if you don't click on the link to buy or something like that, people don't know what to do. They don't have a call to action. So you need to really make sure that you're bringing people to your website. And all these social medias, they're designed to keep people on the social media for as long as possible. So for example, Instagram doesn't really like it when you try to take people off the social media platform. So in a sense, you're working against the social media. It's probably not going to promote your posts as much. So that's why it's really important to build a brand and then maybe revisit your shop from different avenues. You're probably not going to be reaching as many people as you potentially could through Instagram if you're taking a lot of people off the website. That is just something I've heard about the algorithm. I don't know to what extent exactly they decrease your engagement if you're bringing people off the site, but I know that it is a thing basically. So from my experience and from seeing other people do it, what works for other people as well, I think Pinterest and YouTube are probably the best drivers of traffic. Pinterest because there's a very big snowball effect, and also YouTube because YouTube videos are pretty stagnant. So it's not like Instagram where all the new content just gets buried. If people type in words to the search engine, they'll find the video. Whereas with Instagram, with hashtags, there's so much content coming out that everything gets buried. Anyway, I think those are probably the best bet if you really want to do free social media promotion. But as I said, try and take advantage of what the marketplace is providing you already, which is a lot of exposure. Maximize your SEO first before you try these, I think, because these do really take effort and you're not going to see results for quite a long time. And I've seen a lot of people try to promote shirts on Redbubble with Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I just don't think that's worth it. It's not, the organic reach just isn't there compared to Pinterest and YouTube. So you're seeing shirt accounts everywhere. So if you're going to go the free social media route, go with these two. And remember to try and build a brand identity as well. All right, let's talk about paid advertising. I think Facebook advertising is probably the most relevant. With Facebook ads, it's more about testing. So testing your audience, testing your ad creatives, and then finding which one gets the most engagement, and then narrowing that audience down into people that actually buy, and then just continuously targeting that audience. The issue with this is that you're going to have to spend a lot of money before you actually make sales and finding out what type of audience wants to buy your designs. And I think for Redbubble, this is definitely not worth it because the low profit margins are just not going to give you your return on ad spend for a really long time. Whereas if you have your own store, say a Shopify store, decide your own prices so you can make bigger profit margins as well, and also you're able to get that more loyal fan base of customers. I would not recommend using Facebook ads for Redbubble. As I said, best case scenario, taking advantage of the search engine and the existing marketplace traffic. And again, the issue of buyer intent. Obviously, with Facebook advertising, you can target people that are more likely to buy. That is a benefit of it. But why pay for advertising when Redbubble already pays for ads themselves? I mean, you've probably seen Redbubble products advertised on the sidebar of websites before. That is their own ads that they're actually paying for. Take advantage of that instead of paying for your own ads. I definitely think that's a better option. And when you find a few things that are selling organically, so not spending any money on them, and then you can pick out those designs and create your own niche print on demand store on, for example, Shopify, and then you can run Facebook ads to your store. So in this video, very heavy emphasis on taking advantage of the marketplace because that is your biggest asset when it comes to Redbubble. They have paid for ads, they have optimized a lot of things. Then it's all about increasing your ranking for the search engine and finding those keywords that sell, which I have a very detailed video on, so go and watch that. Hopefully that answered your questions about traffic. I feel like I've gone over the main sources of traffic that I'm familiar with, at least, for bringing new visitors to your Redbubble store. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe, turn on notifications bell so you don't miss any of my videos. TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter down in the description, as well as more helpful content on my website, ttxbiz.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.